And since one of today's biggest stars is this actor, let's kick things off with a quote from him. "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. Even on the cross, redemption and mercy are within reach. Right, Jim Caviezel? Good evening, my friends. Just as promised. And like a good Swiss watch, we're back for part 2 of our weekly news segment, What's New with the News? Cinema takes center stage in today's video. In film, highlights include Zero AD, with Jim Caviezel looking completely unrecognizable, and Sam Worthington as a Roman soldier, The Monkey, one of the year's best and already streaming, and Hyde, where Johnny Depp teams up with Ridley Scott for an even stranger take on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. On TV, we've got Season 3 of Tulsa King, with Stallone expanding his criminal empire. The Resurrected, a Chinese Netflix series that promises to glue us to the couch. And The Terminal List, Dark Wolf, a prequel to the hit series starring John Carter and Star-Lord. And let's not forget Luther Hargreaves, minus the fur coat. And YouTube, what about you? Looks like the new Austin Butler film, directed by Darren Aronofsky, is making waves. It's a love letter to a certain New York lifestyle. Before you grab your ticket, on your phone, obviously, go ahead and start today's video.
I try very hard to be in control of her and everything, but may as well not even be there at all.
I don't like how it feels.
Let's kick things off with something tied to an important topic, mental health. Linda is living through a personal apocalypse straight out of a telenovela. Sick child, missing husband, therapist turned villain, and somehow still finds time to chase down a missing person. Rose Byrne delivers a performance so intense it made the Berlin Silver Bear tremble. The film premieres October 10th and promises to leave us emotionally wrecked. But in that signature, a 24 style, of course.
My aunt had a wind-up toy monkey at the yard sale.
Oh, not a cherished childhood memory now, was it?
Now we dive into a story from the twisted mind of the master of horror. Two brothers inherit a killer wind-up monkey, yes, it's as ridiculous as it sounds, and unleash a death spree worthy of a supernatural soap opera. Based on a Stephen King short story, the film blends horror, comedy, and family trauma like mixing wine with milk. Shockingly, it works. The monkey is as introspective as it is gory, and as hilarious as it is disturbing. Now streaming on Hulu.
How many banks have you robbed, Edie?
You get right to it.
Who knew being a driver could be a life-threatening profession? Samara Weaving gets back behind the wheel in Eeny Meeny, a thriller where a former teenage getaway driver tries to save her ex-boyfriend, who's shakier than Jell-O during an earthquake. Premiered August 22nd on Hulu, the film promises action, sarcasm, and probably a few emotional explosions. After escaping psychos in Ready or Not and surviving Scream 6, Weaving now faces her scariest challenge yet, dealing with an ex. Truly terrifying.
Wake up, y'all, the King's here.
Got to pay back.
Buying back, stacking his records. It's a lot of money. There's more to life.
Denzel Washington and Spike Lee. Need we say more? Spike Lee and Denzel Washington reunite in Highest to Lowest, a thriller where a music mogul trades Grammys for a kidnapping plot straight out of a soap opera. Inspired by Kurosawa, with A$AP Rocky and Ice Spice spicing up the cast, the film hit U.S. theaters on August 15th and lands on Apple TV Plus September 5th. Get ready for drama, moral dilemmas, and a rescue plan with more holes than subway Wi-Fi.
Lifeless automatons. And I wondered why. Do they not? Oh,
Jack Sparrow is back, but this time he's not fighting the British East India Company. Johnny Depp and Ridley Scott team up to play Monster Mash in Hyde, where Mr. Hyde defeats common sense and Dr. Jekyll, and heads to London's sewers to spread chaos with a serum that turns people into nastier versions of themselves. Depp is in full artistic rebirth mode. Scott is somewhere between Bee Gees and Gothic nightmares, and together they promise a Halloween with more shadow than light.
They claim a great king should take my throne.
And we wrap up with Jim Caviezel, who once played Jesus Christ and now plays King Herod. Grab your robes and incense. 0 AD arrives December 19th with Mary, Joseph, and a baby who's bound to stir up more buzz than the final episode of The Crown. Jim Caviezel is unrecognizable as Herod. He probably scared himself in the mirror. And Sam Worthington trades Pandora for Palestine. It's going head-to-head with Avatar and SpongeBob because nothing says Christmas like a showdown between Jesus, aliens, and a talking sponge. Let's start with Netflix, which is absolutely owning the spotlight today. Wayward is Netflix's new series that blends creepy school vibes, troubled teens, and Toni Collette flashing a smile that says, "I'm going to ruin your life, but make it classy." The trailer is a parade of terrifying scenes with zero context. Basically, you won't understand a thing, but you'll be scared anyway. The story promises mystery, trauma, and maybe 1 or 2 educational exorcisms. Premieres September 25th. Perfect for kicking off fall with chills and questionable life choices.
이건 네가 생각하는 것보다 훨씬 큰 판이야.
After the chills, nothing like a good Korean series packed with action and espionage. In Tempest, a widowed diplomat decides grief is for amateurs and dives headfirst into an international conspiracy that starts with her husband's assassination and, naturally, ends at the White House. Spies, state secrets, and a mysterious mercenary with a face that screams, "I know more than I'm telling," all wrapped in a cast that looks like it came straight from a UN gala. Premieres September 10th on Disney Plus and Hulu, with 3 episodes guaranteed to make you paranoid and hooked.
Ya sé quién eres, Rafael.
Entonces, ¿qué has venido, Isabel?
Verónica iba como tu hija.
Revenge and Netflix. You already know the drill. In Two Graves, a grandmother decides waiting for the police is for rookies and sets off on a revenge mission worthy of an action flick, all set in Andalusian villages that look like they belong on a postcard. With a cast big enough to fill a film festival, the series premiered August 29th on Netflix and promises mystery, drama, and probably more twists than a Turkish soap opera. Justice, only if it's served old school.
Tulsa is my home now. This distillery is a very interesting business. And we gotta know.
Who would have thought Rocky would become a crime boss? And he's already on season 3. In Tulsa King season 3, Stallone returns as Dwight Manfredi, now with a bigger empire and enemies with surnames that come with inheritance and drama. The Dunmeyers don't play by old-school mafia rules, and Dwight's going to sweat harder than in a boxing montage to keep his empire intact. Samuel L. Jackson joins the chaos to add even more swagger. Premieres September 21st on Paramount Plus, promising more brawls, family drama, and one-liners than an 80s action movie.
我怎么觉得死刑对张世凯来说不是一个惩罚，而是一个奖赏？
Netflix again, and yes, another revenge tale, but this time with a supernatural twist. In the Resurrected, 2 mothers decide divine justice is too slow and resurrect a dead con artist with help from a mysterious goddess. Because obviously, supernatural revenge is always a solid plan. Between fraud, secrets, and moral dilemmas that would make Socrates, the philosopher, not the footballer, short circuit, the series promises drama, tension, and a stylish descent into suffering. Premieres October 9th on Netflix, and yes, Shuchi is ready to emotionally wreck you.
He murdered a CIA asset. An example needs to be made.
Thank you for your service. I'm offering you a chance to finish with
And we wrap with a prequel to one of Prime Video's best series. In the terminal list, Dark Wolf, Ben Edwards goes from Navy SEAL to CIA operative with more moral dilemmas than a priest in Vegas. Taylor Kitsch leads the cast, with Chris Pratt returning to ensure there's enough testosterone per square inch. Espionage, betrayal, and emotional explosions landed on Prime Video August 27th, with weekly episodes through September 24th. Get ready to watch inner wolves fed with bullets and secrets.
You must be William. Welcome to Westworld.
Yes.
Given it's your first visit, I have a few personal questions. Do you have any pre-existing medical conditions?
No, not that I know of.
Heart problems?
No.
Any history of mental illness, depression, panic attacks?
Just a little fear of clowns.
And let's wrap things up with a quote from Chris Pratt in full Navy SEAL mode as James Reese. "It's a mistake to force someone who spent their life mastering violence to use it." Exactly. Never underestimate someone with a very particular set of skills. So, what stood out to you the most? In film, the studio behind Sound of Freedom, one of the most talked about releases in recent years, now brings us a story tied to the Son of God. We also got one of the year's best horror films landing on a streaming platform, Denzel Washington and Spike Lee, channeling their inner samurai, thank you Akira Kurosawa, and Johnny Depp playing a doctor with a seriously dark side. On TV, the toughest Navy SEALs on the small screen made their comeback in prequel form. Netflix served up 2 revenge stories, one Chinese, one with urban exorcisms. We took another trip to Korea, a now regular destination, and of course, Stallone returned as a mafia boss, already in season 3. Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share the video with your crew, and have an amazing start to the week. We'll be back tomorrow with part 3 of the fluffiest news on YouTube. See you then, folks.